Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, as you're all aware, we uploaded a video somewhat recently regarding one of Wuthering Waves' returning game modes. And that game mode is, of course, Virtual Crisis. And I had a lot of points to critique, to make for the game mode. And as you can see over here, with a title like Virtual Crisis is Ruined, blah, 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 and then me on the thumbnail, just so you know in advance, the thumbnail is not doing this any favors either. You're going to see 1,028.6% HP increases for some of the bosses, so on and so forth. So we are not going into this with a positive outlook. And as you can see, the response from the player base has been pretty supportive of a lot of the statements that I've been making over here. And there were some bits of feedback that I had for the Kuro Games team that I really wanted to hone in on today and bring to life, because it is truly getting to a point where I don't even think people are defending Wuthering Waves for valid reasons anymore. I think they're just defending Wuthering Waves because they want to, in the Genshin level way that almost has me thinking these guys are astroturfers. And let me explain why. Virtual Crisis as a game mode seems to have degraded a lot compared to the prior resets. And I haven't seen a lot of positivity surrounding it for one main reason. The fights are actually at the point where they feel like they're not possible. Specifically, bosses like Hivatia and the Reactor Husk, they feel like they're not possible with S0R1 units. But wait, Saint, I saw a video of Dan Jin soloing Virtual Crisis. There was like some Chinese guy that went in and got like 40s, right? 40 stress levels on that boss that you're saying is impossible. So like truly, you must be full of shit, bro. You just dog shit at the game. And this is the reality over here. Let me show you what this run looked like. This is how much HP they had. This motherfucker has been fighting the boss for 4 minutes. Sorry, 5 whole fucking minutes and has done that much damage to it. That is their progress on the HP bar after 5 minutes. Then the 5-minute mark hits and then something changes in the run. Watch this. Wait, now he's done in one attack the literal damage that he just did. Watch this ult. Wait. The actual fight just doesn't even begin until here. You see here, it says, bro, this guy has the funniest fucking, bro, this just truly encapsulates how dog shit Virtual Crisis is right now. Start. Look at the chapter. Start. Act real start. Real start. Because this is just cosmetic. This is just dodging for 5 minutes. And then he can actually damage the enemy and defeat them. And so it says 5 minutes and 30 seconds over here, but really 5 minutes was spent not actually interacting with the enemy or doing anything except pressing the right click button. Yes, he attacked, but what was the point of doing any of these attacks? Of course, obviously, this is for a skill flex, but guys, when this is the damage that a solo Danjin is doing to the boss, what do you think an actual team is doing to the boss? Not enough. And guys, these enemies have so much HP because they're getting plus 1,000%. Do you want to know the tactic people are using to defeat them? People go through the experience of fighting these guys with S0R1 characters. They use their whole team, and then they realize, I did absolutely no damage. But once I hit the 5-minute mark, I start dealing damage. That's because apparently, right? I don't know if this is confirmed or not, but apparently there's supposed to be some sort of like 999% attack and damage buff for you and the boss. So you will one-shot the boss and they will one-shot you. That's how it's supposed to work, right? And then when people see how much HP the bosses have and that their damage before 5 minutes is meaningless, this is what people do, bro. So I need to turn that shitty thing off. But like, bro, this is what people do now. This is the new meta. Why fight them when you could die and you're not dealing any damage to them anyways? What's the point of fighting the enemies before 5 minutes if you don't do any damage to them? Because people are just realizing this. I can just stall, run double healers, not even fight the enemy, or just kite them, right, with somebody that flies for 5 whole fucking minutes, and then once the 5-minute mark hits, bro, get ready. You just do your setup in the last couple of seconds. You go onto your sub DPS, like a Chu Yan here, for example, right? Get all your stuff, and then at the last minute, you press ult, do all your stuff, right? And then the second the deathmatch starts... Bro, just look at this. So the meta literally is run around for 5 minutes because the damage you deal to the boss doesn't matter before 5 minutes. Then just one-shot them by setting up a rotation right as the 5-minute mark hits. And that's what people do because the HP inflation is so retardedly high. And that's what people do, guys. When you have ridiculous debuffs like this one. Bro, this is the part over here that truly pisses me off about what Kuro did. They have modules that just remove 25% ER from your whole team. Bro, why? Why is that even there when all it does is make it so you can't do rotations? Do you want to know one of the reasons for why it's not possible for S0R1 teams to clear the husk? It's because of this. Let's just say, right, you run a traditional sort of like, hey, let's just look over here, right? A good team for this husk are these three, right? The Mono Geo team. Basically, the guy is so tanky because he has plus 1000% HP. You require like 10 rotations with this team to clear. How are you doing rotations with this much HP with minus ER? How are you supposed to do 10 rotations in this team without ER? You're not going to. Your shit's gonna get fucked up. So you don't even bother trying to fight the boss because you can't do rotations and you need 10 to clear it before 5 minutes. What do? You just sit there and dodge slop until the timer hits the 5-minute mark, then one-shot the boss with the freezes. That's the tactic people are taking when the HP inflation is so high S0R1 units can't clear. But guys, there are still going to be comments. This is what I'm thankful for. The community, at the very least, seems to generally agree this type of gameplay promotion of like pseudo skill where all you do is literal dodge slop for 5 minutes, then one-shot the boss in one rotation. People seem to be generally agreeing this is not good. Hivantia can go to hell in this game mode. Hivantia is basically the equivalent of pre-nerf Radon. I'm greedy and stupid. That's why they... And this is where the comments start getting retarded. This is why they call the game rotation slop. You see a CC whose ego is built on being a good player have rotations taken away and they're fucking lost. Yeah, you're right, bro. This is the pinnacle of skillful gameplay right here. Yeah, you know, I should just do this. Show off. Hey, yeah, bro. I should just do this, show off my 160 score, and then everyone will think I'm good at the game. Yeah, let's just do this on every single boss, and then show off our 160-40 stress clear with S0R1 units, and then say we're the best player ever, because we did this. Guys, this is like stolen valor. Ooh, you could run around like a headless chicken and press the dodge button because you memorized their moveset and you banged your head against the wall for like an hour on a Sunday afternoon to get all the medals. Bro, did you have fun doing this, though? I don't think anyone could comfortably say they're having fun doing this, and the only thing that they're having fun getting is getting the fucking 40 stress level star bonus medal, bro. That's the only thing you're doing this for. You're not playing for the Virtual Crisis experience, you're playing just for a fucking medal at this point. And bro, this is what people are going... You can't clear organically because you don't do enough damage. People are running double healers and shit, bro. And I think there's one stage where you can realistically actually clear them. I think you can actually clear the Twin Striders because you can damage both of them at once. You can effectively deal double damage on these guys as long as you're able to rotate and then, you know, freeze them at the same time, do whatever. So, Stage 2 is probably the only one that feels possible with S0R1 units. Maybe Stage 3 as well if your character can hit air units. But how is it that half of the stages outright just feel impossible without this whole goofy-ass stall method and then one rotate at 5 minutes method? I don't really know. That, and these guys are so buggy, it's ridiculous, bro. Like, bro, these guys have the worst visual clarity, plus the buggiest attacks I've ever fucking seen. I would have, like, these fucking flight little drone, like, fighter jets, right? Little Decepticons coming at me, and they'd freeze halfway through their path, bro. I think this is probably the best example of the lack of playtesting, at least on some of the fights. Bro, just check out this shit, man. All right, enjoy your 2 seconds of invulnerability. We can do this. Come on. Bro, why are you... Oh, I forgot they do this too. So, like, somehow I didn't clear this. Why are you alive? Why are you alive? What was that? Dude, I died to that. Dude, this is... Remember, these are long fights. Bro, why are the enemies even able to... Bro, I've never seen, like, a lag that bad before. What the fuck? Is that a part of their normal moveset, or is that like... And like I said before, I had almost killed these guys at, like, the 2:33 minute mark. That's because I had damaged them both at the same time the entire run. So yeah, we almost had an opportunity over there. So I can safely say it feels like almost every level is sort of fucked in some way. This guy, for example, you can't fight them unless you have, like, range characters because he's not on the ground half the time. Good luck. Like, bro, I know Danji could clear this, but, like, she's not having... You already know she's not having a good time there. These guys are visually cluttered and buggy as hell. And then this bullshit over here, these two, bro. They have too much HP. And the end result is this. Virtual Crisis just feels like either a chore, a literal, like, job-level task, if you're not, if you have S0 R1 units, and I assume it just feels like a regular hologram if you have whale-level investment. And that, to me, is a level of balance that I feel like is not really conducive to the entire player base, because, guys, I think a lot of people generally are not very happy with the game mode right now. I think a lot of people generally are also not very happy with 3.5 second half, because this is the cornerstone game mode of the patch, and bro, it's kind of not fun at all at the max difficulty when last year's Virtual Crisis was actually so much fun. And now this is the last point that we're going to be addressing over here, because there's always going to be people, right, that are going to make this comment. They're always going to say this sort of thing when it comes to choose your own difficulty and stuff like that. Anything above the required stress level is totally optional. There's no additional rewards other than the number and the title to flex. You are the one to flex the 40 stress level and obtain a 160 title. Then it's an appropriate challenge. This is not a challenge. This is a chore. 160 should involve an actual challenge that is accomplishable with S0 R1 units that isn't this retarded. If you're telling me that this is a challenge, that this is what is like this is peak Wuthering Waves, go fuck yourself. This is the worst iteration of Wuwa I've ever seen. You don't interact with any of the game's mechanics. You're just dodging for 5 minutes until you one-shot the boss, bro. That is what we're calling peak Wuthering Waves, peak challenge, peak gameplay. And that's why we're addressing toxic positivity over here. Because that's basically the same take a lot of these people have. Bro, these bosses have too much HP. This shit, like, isn't fun. This shit isn't, like, well designed. It doesn't feel good to actually play a lot of this stuff. But then we got this dude basically saying, destroy the Wuthering Waves subreddit, when this is actually a valid point of critique, when this is how people are getting the fucking 40 stress levels. Then again, I read the name, and it's Yunjin's Insta account. Okay, so this is a Hoyoverse player. Anyways, so, like, as you can probably guess, right, you're gonna have some astroturfing going on over here to legitimately critique a bad iteration of an endgame mode. And then people will just say it's, like, wrong, even when the critique is entirely valid, because this is how people are getting their fucking points, bro. No, it's K-pop. Okay, so they're gonna be retarded too. It doesn't matter. It's like, okay, K-pop or Genshin. I don't like, if like you tell me that someone's a stan of K-pop or Genshin, I'm going to assume they're below average IQ no matter what. I don't think K-pop fans are smart. I don't think Genshin fans are smart either. So it's like, pick your poison. Which debuff would you prefer? And all I have to say to this is this, ladies and gentlemen, why do you build characters? If you just went ahead, right, and you kept all your Wuthering Waves units at level 89, they'd still clear all the content in the game, right? My Hiyuki probably doesn't need 276% crit rate or crit damage. He could probably have 260 and clear everything in the game, right? But I'll still roll echoes. I'll still grind because I like bigger numbers. And if you're playing a gacha game with a gear system like this, and you've reached the end game to where you can approach this content, you like big numbers too. And people just want to get their big numbers while having fun. And they're saying that to get these big numbers, the process is not fun. The process is painful, the process is boring, and they don't like it. Because guess who are the people saying this? We got 160 stress points in Virtual Crisis every other time it's ran. Yes, bitch, I have the maxed out Virtual Crisis 120 because I had fun getting these scores in the past resets. Yes, I'm one of the motherfuckers that has this one. You can only do this by maxing out the stress levels in the past Virtual Crises. And I did that. And I can tell you, because I did that, this is some fucking dog shit. Because you could get your scores, your max stress levels, and have a fun challenge at the same time. Where enemies do like dot damage in like a circle, but it's only every couple of seconds. If you have a strong enough shielder, you can like penetrate through it and stuff like that, right? There were so many unique buffs, and right now they just went with there's so much HP, you don't even want to fight the boss until you actually deal damage to them and one-shot them. We're not having fun here. That's the point. And some people are basically conflating a long, annoying, boring challenge to being good at the game. When 160 on your stress levels is achieved by doing this, that's not an accomplishment. That's basically a badge of honor saying you don't respect your own time as a person. And that you thought that this was a worthwhile expenditure of one of your afternoons. And that you were getting something beneficial out of wasting your time like this multiple times. You're not good at this game. You're not a high skill person. You're somebody that turned dodge slop into a chip on your shoulder. And it's fucking embarrassing. Because that's all you're doing. 160 on this Virtual Crisis is a participation trophy because everyone can get it if they just bang their head against the wall enough. And do you want to be known as like this group of people that just literally caveman their way to beating an endgame? Maybe, because you might be one of the only people doing it. But guys, just because somebody doesn't want to do this themselves with their S0 R1 characters, that doesn't mean they're bad at the game. That just means they respect their time a lot fucking more than you do. Because this, to me, isn't good content. I don't want Kuro to ever do anything close to this again. If we have future combat events that are literally just, bro, this feels like a Hoyo event where they're trying to maximize my playtime. Bro, it's like, hey, we gotta make sure they are logged in for at least 15 minutes a day. Let's put in a gay-ass fight like this. Bro, that's what it feels like. But I don't even know if that's the intent, right? Because this isn't worth my time. I don't have fun doing this one. I don't enjoy an event where I'm dodging for 5 minutes and then one rotating the boss. I don't want to play like that personally. Some people do, right? Some people want to do anything except interact with the mechanics of this game. That's why they're going to call anything that actually uses an outro skill properly rotation slop. 160 star haver here. It was way too hard. It's not a skill check at this point, but rather a patience check. Are you ready to dodge for 4 minutes straight? Then you can clear. Otherwise, GG's. Guys, I don't want to just dodge for 5 minutes straight. That's not fun to me. I don't want to do that. I played this game to use my character's abilities, to have energy to use their skills. I don't have the energy to do rotations. The enemy has too much HP for me to beat it in a reasonable amount of time. I just need to dodge until I get a 999% attack and damage buff and can actually beat the enemy. And then people are saying, oh, if you don't want to do that, you're just bad at the game, bro. No, bitch. This doesn't make you good at the game. And so, yes, this is going to be another video on our sort of like woo-wah feedback arc, because I think 3.5 was one of those updates that felt like it was really going to be the bee's knees. I truly thought this was going to be one of the best patches we've ever had in the history of the game. But it does just feel like stuff has not lived up to the expectations that I was personally expecting. And this event and its design, it has to be the biggest disappointment of all this patch. Because this has been missing for almost nearly a fucking year at this point, and it's worse than the one we had last year. And it's not, like, I don't even want to play it anymore. This event alone has made me want to go play other games. And I think that's a mindset a lot of other people are having. Maybe that's why the live stream is being brought up so early. And I'm going to be honest, if the live stream wasn't brought up by a week, dude, it would be rough for this game right now. If this is all we had, content that people don't even want to play, and then the live stream was next week, oh fuck. We just need to be blessed as hell that the live stream is just in a couple of days. Thank God for that one. And who knows, maybe like somebody that worked on this game mode knew that shit was going to be coming. Because that thing came out quick. But it's not too surprising after everything you've seen today. Because this is the flagship event, ladies and gentlemen, of 3.5. What did we have in the first half? We had fucking, bro, I don't want to play this. But we had this. And so nobody wanted to play this because it's boring as shit. So people wanted to play this. But then this sucks ass. So what do people, nobody wants to play anything right now. Nobody wants to play anything right now. And that's the reality. Let me know what you all thought. Peace out.